When we come back, we're going to talk more about that Steelers offense. I'm going to ask you about the old warhorse, Aaron Rodgers. Welcome back. Let's talk Steelers. I'm Tank. He's Mike. We're here at the locker room in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania at Cigars International. Mike, November 22nd, it'll be a year anniversary since Cigars International opened up. I was here for the big party. Are you coming that day? Or
I'm
you
sure
don't like...
you will be. No, I mean...
everything I have smells like cigar smoke. Yeah. I smoke like 10 a week. Yeah. So I'm in a perfect setting.
Yeah, yeah.
You
to each his own.
You and your sensitive allergies.
I don't mind it. I played a lot of golf with, Lawrence Taylor, and, he's always smoking a cigar, so it doesn't bother me. It's just, I just choose not to.
All right, I just choose not to. Well, it's a free country, the last I heard. In fact, it's such a free country. Your Steelers offense, Mike, at times they look spectacular. The weapons are there. I'm going to say it again. Arthur Smith should not be the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. Let Aaron Rodgers call this offense. Let him audible at the line of scrimmage. This offense is ranked number 23 in the league. Worst rushing offense in the league at 698 yards. Dead last rushing. Passing is just above the worst of the worst in the league. I do not like, going into last week's game against the Colts, everybody was asking defensively, is it scheme, is it personnel? Well, I'll throw that out to you right now. This team seems to be, to me, underperforming offensively. So is it personnel or is it scheme?
Well, you've got the big playmaker on the outside. You've got the veteran quarterback. It could potentially be O-line. Could be. I mean, I think Jaylen Warren's doing a great job, running the football right now. He's great offseason. He's pulling soccer goals. He's doing a phenomenal job with that. He's carrying the load. And with Rodgers, is it Arthur Smith? I mean, you're calling plays. Rodgers, when you got a veteran quarterback with the amount of football he's seen, you can even go back to the Hard Knocks when he was with the Jets and he's in his cadence, you're an 18, it's like, hey, back up, you're not coming. So that's just who he is. He knows what the defense is doing. He's like, you can't even come. So he can see the scheme. He's probably like, all right, we got the angle here, we're good to go. But are they doing their job? I still think they're a little soft on the up front. They can be a little better, and that'll help it out. Now, as far as the play calling, what are you going to do differently? Well, I mean, is it
Jonnu Smith? Let's start there, okay? You brought Jonnu Smith in as a tight end to conceivably be a second receiver to Metcalf.
Then you see
he's totally unusing him.
Well, again, we're not in that locker room. We're not in those meetings. Maybe he's not as healthy as he could be. Maybe he's getting a little long in the tooth because Freiermuth's been the guy that stepped up. They try to force it to the other big guy for a little bit, but he's just not the smoothest. He's probably going to be converted to a tackle at some point. But you've got Freiermuth, you've got Jonnu Smith, you've got Metcalf, you've got some of the quick and shifty guys. I mean, having big guys out there is good, but they're like having extra O linemen out there if they can block properly and get that run game going. But at the same time, if you're gonna keep those big guys out there and the defense is gonna keep their smaller guys out there, you have to run the ball. If they're gonna sub in some bigger defensive guys, now those guys are gonna have to get open. I think that's what they're trying to do. But at the same time, maybe those guys aren't as good, as they thought they were going to be. So maybe it's time to get some of those quick, shifty little route runners in there because you have Metcalf. You're going to get Valdez-Scantling to take it up the top. Maybe work in those, the young Roman Wilson and those type players to
number 19 had a great game last week. Let's take a step back. You talked about maybe the offensive line isn't as good. I hate to keep bearing on it, and I hate to keep beating it up because he's a great kid. I can't say it enough. Broderick Jones is out of position. He is not a tackle in this league. He is a guard.
He was very soft on the pass rush this past week. He's getting a little too quick.
He gets blown back immediately.
And he's got to be a little bit more firm.
And you got Khalil Mack coming this week against the Chargers.
Yeah, obviously you're going to have to slide to him or chip him or, do something with that. But the thing is like you can't, listen, I'm all for letting the quarterback call the plays at the line, but that's dangerous because now all of a sudden it becomes like, hey, let's go air raid time, and that's just naturally what quarterbacks want to do. Now, will Rodgers do that? No, he's not going to do that. But Arthur Smith maybe lean on some of his other guys. You've got the quarterback coach Tom Arth in the building, who has seen a lot of football. He was Peyton Manning's backup. He knows the West Coast system. Studied underneath Tom Moore. So he has some knowledge as well that could maybe help out. So again, I don't think it's Arthur Smith. I think it's probably more, are we getting it done? I mean, look.
You're not. You're 23rd in the league. You're not. You're last in rushing.
Let me tell you something. They're not the smartest group of guys. Like, no disrespect to them, but they're young guys. You got your 42-year-old quarterback throw a touchdown, and then you tackle him, which would have been a penalty because you throw all your weight on him.
I'm looking at Bruce Arians is on the TV right now behind me on the Pat McAfee show. I'm going to tell you something right now. If Bruce Arians had this level of talent, all right, they would not be ranked 23rd in the league. They'd be about 10. He would look at his assets. Rodgers still has game. He still has quick release. You now have two bona fide running backs with Gainwell and Jalen.
Maybe they realized there was some struggling going on in the defense. Maybe it was playing like, hey, let's keep away from the defense. Let's try to control the clock. Let's control the ball. Let's not give the other team an opportunity. I mean, it could be some of that going on as well. But I'm just telling you, to me, I think they're playing it just a little close to the vest. They're trying to keep things close, and then they feel that they can win the game in the fourth quarter.
Look, I'm going back to Arthur Smith. You've got a lot of intelligence in that quarterback room with Rodgers and Tommy Arth. You go back to last season with Russell Wilson. I'm not saying Russell Wilson was all that last season, but when he tried,
he didn't have the arm strength.
But when he tried to go and call his own plays, that worked for a while. When he tried to give suggestion to Arthur Smith last year, boom, it blew up. Arthur Smith's ego couldn't take it.
But was it? Because, there was some report that, I'm not saying it's fact or fiction. I'm saying there were some reports that came out that, it was Tomlin stepping in saying, no, we're not changing the play at the line of scrimmage. So we don't know that. There's been reports. There's a lot of, speculation going on. You just don't know. To me, Russell Wilson, he was a good quarterback that came in, had a phenomenal defense with the Seattle Seahawks. He was a mobile guy, could run around, make some plays, and he had a nice deep ball back then. But the thing is Russell Wilson, when you get older, you lose that mobility. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. He's lost that mobility, but Aaron Rodgers still has the arm.
Aaron Rodgers still has the arm. He still has a quick release.
Yeah, and
do you remember we were watching the Packers versus, let's say, the Vikings about 4 years ago in the playoffs, and I texted you. Aaron Rodgers, they were on the 5-yard line, 6-yard line, going in. He literally came up to the line of the scrimmage. He read, I think it was the Vikings defense, and he laughed, and he chuckled, and he got under center, and boom, he threw a touchdown. It was like he just laughed at the defense they set up in front of him. And I remember texting you, this is a brilliant man who knows the game. All I'm saying at this point, this offense is not producing. They're 23rd. They're last in rushing. They are just about, there's the bottom of the league in passing, then there's the Steelers.
Are they leading
Something's
the
got
division
to change. I don't care. That's not sustainable. You ask yourself this.
At the end of the day, if you're winning the division, I don't care if I'm first or if I'm 31st. If we're winning the division, we're doing something right.
But, Mike, ask Steelers Nation out there, because as we came into the 2025 season, the question was, and the demand from Steelers Nation was, not only angry? I'm angry. I'm just, because football's a physical game, and you got to be angry. And I need a cigar from Cigars International just to calm down. All right. Thanks for bringing me down.
What do you want, like the 1999 Rams, greatest show on turf? I mean, goodness gracious. Hey, let's just keep on winning games.
It's not good enough, because the goal isn't just to go to the playoffs this year. It's to run deep in the playoffs. All right, when we come back, we'll be talking about the Los Angeles Chargers. It's still really hard to say Los Angeles Chargers, but we're going to preview the matchup with your Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Los Angeles Chargers.